when someone asks me my story, my initial thing is to like tell them, okay, I got pregnant when I was 13 years old, because I feel like people want to know, like, when did your life get off track? And I've been doing a lot of inner work to really come to a place where I understand, like, my story didn't begin where the trauma met me. My story didn't begin where the pain invaded my soul.
Right.
And I think that when you've been marked by trauma, that you find yourself identifying with the trauma and not realizing you were a person before then. Do you think that you've been able to reconcile with why you left the house at 15? And this isn't from a place of judgment, because I'm going to share. So I'm in therapy, like, I think everybody's in therapy these days, especially after the pandemic. But my therapist takes me on this journey, and she was like, I want you to go back to when you were 13. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, I want you to tell me, like, what would you say to that girl? And, who feels like she lost her innocence, who feels like something happened to her that she can never recover from. And I was like, I would tell her, you're going to be okay. You'll be fine. Everything's going to work out, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, but can you tell her that her innocence has not been lost? And I was like, no, because it has been. And she says, and until you can see that it hasn't been, you're going to always be unhealed. You're going to always be penalizing yourself for that moment. So I went on this whole journey and basically recounted who I was before I got pregnant, and realized, like, I was super angry as a kid. I was angry for a lot of reasons, but I think the majority of them was like, our life changed overnight. I felt like I lost my parents overnight to this like ministry and church that was bigger than us. And like, yes, they were providing, and yes, they were changing the world, but I felt like I lost my identity, and I was really angry about that. I think that's why I ended up loving hip hop culture and rap music, because so much of it was filled with anger, and that's how I felt. And when I could see how angry I was able to have more compassion for why I ended up pregnant, because at the end of the day, I was looking for something to help me feel better. So I say all of that to say, have you been able to do that type of work within your own life yet?